And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Dave Guerra here. This is Let's Have a Chat. Let's have a chat about what's in the news. And there's, again, a lot of stuff in the news, some good, some bad. Definitely, well, there's more bad. But apparently that's what sells. So the news sells and the bad sells. So we got to deal with it. But, you know, it's part of change. And news brings us that change that's happening all over the world. Far East, Middle East, down the street, across the next state over, 2 states over, whatever, just on the other side of the border, whatever. You know, that's just part of change. Change is just showing, the news just shows us what's changing all around us. And whether it's good or bad, that's besides the point. Unfortunately, like I said, 99.99 times out of 100, we're going to get the bad. So let's talk a little bit about the bad and the good. And as I mentioned here, it's in the news. So we're talking about the retail industry. And in this case, because I mentioned that in the title, when you hear retail, you should automatically, think change, and you rightfully so, because things are changing so much in the retail industry. It's crazy. It's like a baseball game. You can't tell the players without a scorecard. You need a card there. You need a program. You can't tell the players, the performers, or in a play, you can't tell the performers without a card or a sheet, a player sheet. There you go, or the cast. That's it, the cast. Golly, finally got it. So again, so let's dive in. Here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Payless, CVS, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Sears. Well, Payless, as you know, has been going, Payless retail store, standalone retail store, has been going at it and has been liquidating all their assets. They're getting ready to shut them all down. Majority of them have already shut down. And apparently there's going to be 2,590 stores shutting down. That's the big brunt of what's shutting down this year. That's a lot of money, merchandise, commerce leaving the economy, and that money's got to go someplace. So let's see where it ends up at. So they're closing. You can go to their website. The website's still up, but it's all referring you to the stores, and the inventory system is not compatible. So it's not going to tell you what's in the stores. You kind of have to take a gamble at that. But deep discount, 75%. So if you're one of those individuals that like shoes, it's time to go. Continuing on with the change, CVS, the pharmacy store, the rival that was supposed to be the rival to Walgreens, taking up the other corner of the street. Well, it's not happening. They're shutting down, 46 stores this year? 46. I mean, they had this massive run to build and try to outmaneuver Walgreens and try to outmaneuver all the other pharmacy stores that are throughout the nation, but it just didn't work out for CVS. I think they kind of overextended themselves, and then they got into the healthcare business, and they wanted to do shops, and they wanted to do labs right there. So kind of things, just you start seeing the writing on the wall, and you can see it just spiraling downward. But again, they're not totally out of business. They're just getting rid of the ones right now that they say are not performing as expected, not meeting the financial target. Down in my neck of the woods, I got 2 in my area. So interesting things that are happening down here. And down here where I'm at is a huge, sad to say, but a huge medical area. People are sick. Majority of the people are sick. Age, self-induced sicknesses. And then of course, there's the stuff that happens over time, over life. And by self-induced, I'm talking like type 2 diabetes or diabetes. And things like that. So it's large and it's going on, and yet these CVS is still not going to perform. Who else? Bed Bath & Beyond is closing 40. They're closing 40 businesses, 40 standalone stores. You kind of see them at the outskirts, near outlet malls or the strip malls near the highway. And well, it's kind of where you would see the Payless also. And it's got me thinking, we need to look at Rack Room Shoes, see how they're doing compared to Payless, and see where they stand. Are they next in line? Something to think about. And again, and I'm not going to blame this one on Amazon, because there's some things that I'd rather have right here, right now, as opposed to waiting for them to arrive. And shoes being one of them. And again, I will not go to the big box store because, well, you know how I feel about that. Anyway, moving on. So Bed Bath & Beyond is closing 40 stores, 40 stores. But guess what? There's an upside to this. They're opening 18. So they're shutting down 40, but opening 18. So it's kind of, they're doing a realignment, readjustment, just kind of getting themselves in a much better economic position. And I don't blame them. At least they're trying to do something. So, you know, obviously it's less than half of what they're closing. It's what they're opening. But so it's about a third, or yeah, third. And what happens? You know, what happens now? Well, again, they've got to readjust, realign, reassess, rebrand, and then get themselves to rebuild. And that's pretty much the case for everybody. In the case of Sears, Sears just announced that they are expanding. Now, Sears, they just got out of the bankruptcy thing. They did the whole restructuring. They're out of that part, but they're still not making the money they need to be making. But they just expanded their Die Hard. Remember those Die Hard batteries? You remember those commercials, those old school commercials? It'd be like this one truck and one battery sitting on this frozen tundra, and they had like these row of pickup trucks, and the one battery started them all. Well, that's a Die Hard battery for you. Well, they're going to expand the line into lawn and garden. So they're going to be moving over there, kind of what Ryobi did. Remember Ryobi? The black and yellow cordless stuff. So Die Hard's moving in that direction. Kudos to them. They're trying, they're restructuring. They're rebranding and reattempting and rebuilding. So can Payless Shoes come back? No, that's a done deal, because there's other shoe stores out there. Others that are kind of, you know, you got Skechers. They also have their own stores now. Skechers has its own stores. So things to look at. So it's very, very interesting to see where things are going. It's very, very interesting to see things as they're shaping, as they're evolving. People are still trying, and that's a good thing. But that's all part of change. And it affects you, because now you have to travel a little further. Now you have to travel a little, go to somebody else and see if their brands or what they carry will work for you. And so you have to rebuild that trust and that confidence, and they have to gain that trust and confidence from you as you go to the new locations. So it's kind of an all-encompassing situation when it comes to the retail industry and businesses shutting down, because now you, the customer, the consumer, the external stakeholder, now has to take your trust along with your money and see if it's a perfect fit someplace else. Folks, that's change for you. Listen, my name's Dave, and this has been Let's Have a Chat, the Tuesday night edition, Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. It's in the news, and we're talking about the retail industry. Listen, have a great evening. Have a great Wednesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Take care.